Okay, class, in this lesson, I'm going to show you the substitution method to solving a system of equations. In a system of equations, you basically have two variables that you're solving for, and in order to solve for those two variables, you need to have two equations. So let's start with a simple example. Let's say you have x plus y equals 10. Okay? And let's say that the second equation, we're going to keep it very simple and say that y equals 6. Okay? So in the substitution method, you are basically going to substitute this y with this y, which is equal to 6. So then this becomes x plus 6 is equal to 10. And then now you can solve for x. Fairly straightforward. By subtracting 6 on both sides, you get x is equal to 4. Okay, so hopefully that was pretty straightforward. Now let's take a look at another example, and I'm going to just draw a line down from the top and separate this with the second example. Now, let's suppose we have the same exact equation, x plus y is equal to 10. But this time, we have a different equation for the second one, and that is x plus y is equal to 6. Okay, so in this example, we have two equations, we have two unknowns, or two variables, so we can solve this. So what we need to do here is rewrite one of the equations so that we can plug that equation into the other equation. And here's what I mean. So I'm going to take the second equation and I'm going to set it to y equals, and it'll look like this. Y is equal to 6. Now, in order to move this x to the other side, we have to subtract x on both sides. And what we get is y equals 6 minus x. Okay? Now, we now know what y is equal to. Y is equal to this quantity, 6 minus x. Since we know y, we're going to plug this in to this value. Okay? So if I take the first equation and rewrite it, it's going to be x plus 6 minus x is equal to 10. Okay? So if you note, we took this quantity, 6 minus x, and substituted that into the y value. Okay? If you notice, the y value was just y in the original equation, but we substituted this with this y. So now it's 6 minus x. Okay? So I'm not going to complete this equation because it's not going to have a solution, but the whole idea was to show you that if you rewrite an equation, you can take the new value and substitute it into the other equation. So I'm going to show you another example where the answer actually comes out to one solution. So let's say we have, again, x plus y is equal to 10, okay? And now the second equation is going to be x minus y is equal to 5. Actually, let's make that x minus y is equal to 6. Okay, so if we rewrite this equation and set it equal to x, we will have x is equal to, and now what we're trying to do is move the y over to the other side of the equation. This is a negative y, so to eliminate this and move it over to this side, we have to add y to both sides. When we add y to both sides, we get 6 plus y, and the y on the left side disappears. Okay, now we now know what x is. We have this x, but we know this value of x in terms of y. It's 6 plus y. So we're going to rewrite this equation as follows. We now get 6 plus y is equal to 10. Okay? We just rewrote this equation down here. We rewrote this x as x plus y because we know that x is equal to 6 plus y, not x plus y, 6 plus y. Okay? So we just substituted this value into this equation so that this equation is now all in terms of y. Now that we have this, we can solve. Okay? So then this becomes 6 plus 2y is equal to 10. Okay? All I did was I added these two y's together. Now we're going to move the 6 over to the other side of the equation. To do that, because this is a positive 6, we have to subtract 6 from both sides. And we get 2y is equal to 10 minus 6. Okay? 2y is now equal to 4 because 10 minus 6 is 4. Now to move the 2 away from this y as a coefficient, we have to divide both sides by 2 or multiply by 1/2, which is the reciprocal of 2. When we do that, we get y is equal to 2. Okay? Now that we know y, we can put the value of 2 into either one of those equations and solve for x. Okay? So let's say we're going to put this y, this 2, into this equation. Okay, so now we're going to get x plus 2 is equal to 10. And moving 2 to the other side, by subtracting 2 on both sides, we get x is equal to 8. Okay, so my solution now is 8, 2. So that is the coordinate or the order pair where both of these lines, this line and this line, intersect. Okay, another way to say it is this is the value of x and y that satisfies both of these equations. Okay, so let's just test it to make sure. We use this equation to solve for x. So let's use this equation to verify the answer. So the question is, does 8 minus 2 equal 6? The answer is 6 does equal 6. So that checks. Okay, So let's summarize. So basically what you're doing is you need to have two equations when you're solving for two variables. Okay, this is called solving a system of equations. The method that I'm showing you is the substitution method. And what you're doing is converting one of the equations into one of the variables and expressing it as as the other variable. And then you're taking that value and substituting that into the other equation. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. If this is not clear, please go back to the recording and review it again. Thank you.